should get started with the session. As usual, this session is dedicated to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. I would also like to dedicate this session to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, and may this humble effort of mine please both these personalities. Before we proceed, let's chant some pranam mantras. Those who know can repeat after me. Those who don't, just listen very intently because listening is also very, very purifying. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gururo Shri Utapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhete giri yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Please. Are you guys able to hear me clearly? Okay. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Mudiraye
Tato Jayam Mudiraye
Nashta Prayeshva Abhadreshu
Nashtamayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagvatya Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki.
Okay. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, chapter 3, verse number 24. Very interesting verse this is. We will be reading about Lord Buddha. Okay, why did he... Okay, sorry. So sorry. Thank you, Prabhu. So we will be reading about Lord Buddha. Why did Sri Krishna incarnate as Lord Buddha? And we will learn a lot of things like how with time the disciplic succession is lost, how it is very easy to concoct the scriptures over a period of time. Okay, we will try to understand with one of the examples which is very prevalent these days. Okay, and apart from that, we will also see that it will also tell us that how Krishna is a personality, rather than being a formless entity, right? that he also strategizes according to the situations, and he also incarnates depending upon the time, place, and circumstances. Okay, and how did successors of Lord Buddha actually reinstilled the faith in the Vedas? So all these things, very interesting topic today. Little what to say? I would not say very technical also, but at the same time not very like katha oriented also. Okay, so just please stay engaged, and I think we can enjoy this session. It's a very nice session actually. Okay, so please repeat after me. Verse number 3, verse number 24, first canto, chapter number 3. Okay. ततः कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
ततो संप्रवृत्ते
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
बुद्धो नाम्ना अंजनसुतः
बुद्धो नाम्ना
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
ततः कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
ततः कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
बुद्धो नाम्ना जनसुतः
बुद्धो नाम्ना
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
ततः कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
ततः कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
बुद्धो नाम्ना अंजनसुतः
बुद्धो नाम्ना जनसुतः
कीकटेषु भविष्यति.
कीकटेषु भविष्यति.
Two people from Prabhuji side, two people from Mataji side.
तथा कलो संप्रवृत्ते
तथा कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
बुद्धो नामाञ्जनसुता
बुद्धो नाम्नाञ्जनसुता
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
तथा कलौ संप्रवृत्ते
तथा कलौ संप्रवृत्ते सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम्
बुद्धो नाम्ना नाञ्जनसुतः
बुद्धो नाम्नाञ्जनसुतः
कीकटेषु भविष्यति
कीकटेषु भविष्यति. माताजी. तथा कलौ संप्रवृत्ते सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम् बुद्धो नाम्नाञ्जनसुतः कीकटेषु भविष्यति. तथा कलौ संप्रवृत्ते सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषाम् बुद्धो नाम्नाञ्जनसुतः कीकटेषु भविष्यति. Okay, word to word translation. Tata, thereafter. Kalau, the age of Kali. Sampravritte, having ensued. Sammohaya, for the purpose of deluding. Sura, the theists. Devisham, Dvesham, those who are envious. Buddha, Lord Buddha. Namna, the name. Anjana Sutta, whose mother was Anjana. Kikateshu, in the province of Gaya, which is in Bihar. Bhavishyati, will take place. So very important keyword here, Bhavishyati. Okay, we will see. So we'll see the full translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theists. Okay. So first slide, I think it's the same for last 2 or 3 sessions which I have been taking, because this entire section of Srimad Bhagavatam is dedicated on avtaras or incarnations. Okay. How many of you are coming here for the first time? Anyone? You are coming, Vedant? Okay, anyways. So Just quickly recap that what is an incarnation. An incarnation is basically either a direct expansion of Sri Krishna, or maybe an expansion of Sri Krishna, or some specially empowered living entities who have been sent here to carry out some specific tasks. Okay, there are different kinds of incarnations basically, right? There are the Yuga avatars, the ones which you see here, say for example Narsimhadev or Matsya avatar, Lord Ramchandra, okay, Balaram, all these are Yuga avatars. That in every Yuga they appear to do what? Anyone can say? Leela, but what is the main goal of such appearances? Yes, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So first thing, they come to protect the pious people. Paritranaya sadhunam. Second, vinashaya cha dushritam. They, for the killing of the demons, demoniac propensities, people with demoniac propensities, they are annihilated by the Lord. Okay, and dharma sansthapanarthaya. That means to re-establish the principles of dharma, which appear to be lost over a period of time. For these reasons, Lord incarnates in every yuga. Okay. Then there are guna avatars. We have guna avatars, right? The Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the three murtis which are there, right? Lord Brahma takes care of the Rajugun. Lord Vishnu is of Satogun, and Lord Shiva, who is associated with destruction, takes care of the Tamogun, right? So Tamogun, so all these Guna avatars are also there. Then finally there are Shakti-avesh avatars, that are specially powered living entities who have come here to carry out certain specific tasks. For example, our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Yes. So these are some special categories of avatars, whereas one very special category is that of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, because he is known as the Channa Avatara, because he never disclosed himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, he was Krishna who appeared in the mood of his own devotee. Right. So this is an overview of what an incarnation is. Okay. So as we discussed that in the translation, we came across a very important keyword, which was Bhavishyati. Okay, Bhavishyati means that it will take place, right? So it's the future basically. Okay, the Veda is talking about the future, that in Kali Yuga, when the Kali Yuga will start, towards the early part of Kali Yuga, Lord will incarnate as Lord Buddha. Okay, now mind you, these documentation of the Vedas was done by Ved Vyas, right? Ved Vyas actually documented the Vedas, and he actually appeared in Treta Yuga, right? When Krishna was around that time he was there. Okay, but during that time, say more than 5,000 years back only, he clearly predicted that when the Kali Yuga will start, during the early phase of Kali Yuga, we will see that Lord will come himself as Lord Buddha, and he will incarnate to, propagate non-violence basically in the society. Okay, so this is known as the Vedic knowledge. Okay, that even before a personality or an entity is born, right, a very accurate prediction, not just the name of the living entity, not just the name of that incarnation, but also who is going to be the mother of that incarnation, where that incarnation is going to take birth. Okay, all these information are very nicely documented in the Vedas, and therefore it is known as Bhavishyati. Okay, that it will happen. Okay, there is no scope of any discrepancy, there is no scope of any ifs and buts over there. Okay, it's a pure and absolute knowledge coming from the absolute source itself. Okay, and sometimes like if you go through these Vedic scriptures, you will find that certain things are very self-contradictory. Okay, like say I cannot come up with an immediate example, but sometimes when you read, you can understand that okay, in one place it is written like this, but at the same time in the other place it is written in some other language, right? So why it is so? So we have to understand that this Veda, it comprises about the knowledge of this entire creation. Okay, both material creation as well as the spiritual creation. Okay, and if you just try to visualize the complexity of the material world itself. Okay, this is the Earth planetary system that we are living in. But we have 14 planetary systems like this. Okay, there are innumerable universes which come out from the pores of Mahavishnu, right? Each of them are having these many planetary systems. Okay, so just imagine the kind of complexity which is there. Like even as we speak, okay, when say for example Gaur Purnima is going to come up in a few days time, right? Why do we celebrate Gaur Purnima? Not just because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, advented on that particular day. The also very important reason behind that is that on the very day of upcoming Gaur Purnima, in some universe or in some timeline, okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be appearing. Okay, so just imagine the vastness and complexity of this universe. Okay, but the Vedic scriptures are such that it gives an accurate, kind of prediction and accurate knowledge about entire, creation, basically keeping all the complexities in mind. Okay, so this is why these Vedic scriptures are so great, and this is why we should always be, very eager to learn and read from these Vedic scriptures. Okay, but since it is very complex thing to do, it should always come from an authorized source. Okay, by our own individual efforts, it is almost impossible for us to, comprehend such kind of a knowledge, and it is not possible for us to basically, understand the intricacies of the Vedic scriptures all by ourselves, by our own efforts. So what is an authorized source? I mean, who is an authorized source? Can anyone tell me?
One criteria is Prabhuji, this would be Niswat.
Niswat, okay. But whom can we consider as an authorized source? Disciplic succession, right? Say, for example, personalities like Ved Vyas or Narad Muni, okay, or the representatives of Krishna. Okay, so when we talk about disciplic succession, okay, so say, for example, if someone wants to trace back, say, my lineage, okay, so then they should be able to tell me who my spiritual master is. Okay, who is the spiritual master of my spiritual master, who is the spiritual master of my spiritual master's spiritual master. Okay, like that, in going up and up and up, they should ultimately go back until Lord Krishna. They should reach Lord Krishna. Okay, so that is the disciplic succession. So if anyone is coming in that kind of a disciplic succession, then those people are entitled to transfer this knowledge to other people. Okay, and it is very, very important, because as I said earlier, with our individual efforts, it's next to impossible to, comprehend such kind of an extensive knowledge. Okay, and Lord Sri Krishna also in the Bhagavad Gita says the same thing. He lays stress on the Guru Shishya Parampara. Please repeat after me. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sahakalene hamahata yoge nashtah parantapa. So this supreme science was thus received through a chain of disciplic succession, and saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore science as it is appears to be lost. Yes. So over a period of time, it has been seen like basically this entire material creation is temporary and ever changing. Okay, so this change will happen. It will start with certain good stuffs, and then slowly adharma will creep in, and slowly what will happen? The disciplic succession and the dharmic principles, they all will be lost. And at that point of time, whether you pray or not, okay, whether you surrender to Sri Krishna or not, he will ultimately incarnate, and he will come here and re-establish the principles of dharma. Okay, so that is basically the cyclic nature of this entire creation, material creation. Okay, so it has to be done in that way. Okay, so one has to be very, very careful while reading the Vedic scriptures, because it is very easy to concoct the teachings. Okay, I mean, the four Vedas basically most of it actually deals with how to perform certain yagyas or certain sacrifices so that you attain the higher planetary system. So it's very easy for people to get carried away with that, because some people tend to think that okay, ab bas ye ho gaya, maine swarg lok attain kar liya, that's it. Okay, so but that is not the end result. Okay, so we will see that how it is more important. It's important to go beyond what is basically written in most part of the Vedas. Okay, very small fraction of the Vedas, the Sam Veda, and also certain small aspects where the Upanishads have been taken from different Vedic scriptures. They only deal with breaking this cycle of birth and death, and then attaining Sri Krishna as a whole. Okay. So when we talk about the Guru Shishya Parampara, we here at ISKCON are actually very, very blessed. We are very, very fortunate that we come in a very strong Guru Shishya disciplic succession. Okay, not just because it's very clear that you start tracing from one individual back to their spiritual master, it will go and reach up to the point of Lord Sri Krishna. But also because Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this particular parampara, okay, the Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya, okay. So it is very, very, what to say, like a blessed opportunity for all of us that we are a part of this parampara, and just let's make the full use of it, okay. But keeping ISKCON aside, okay, keeping the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya aside, okay, do you think that for society as a whole, okay, the source of spiritual knowledge is absolute or is it authorized? If yes, then why, and if no, then why? Anyone? Do you think that apart from this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, or even the other Sampradayas also, like people who are actually associated with authorized and bona fide Sampradayas, just forget about those people. I'm just talking about society in general. The spiritual knowledge of the people, are they coming from an authorized source? No. Why?
Only 4 sampradayas are authorized.
4 are authorized, yes. Apart from that?
That is not authorized.
Let's keep them aside. What about others?
No.
Why?
Because they are not following the Shastras.
So what is the source of their knowledge?
Source of knowledge is, let's say, Mahatma Gandhi example, if we take, he read the Bhagavad Gita. What he understood, he has written. Srila Prabhupada used to give a lot of time Mahatma Gandhi's example. That whatever he understood, that he has written. That he is telling he is accepting Krishna when he is a small boy. But when he does the Ras Leela, then I am not accepting. Like that, then I think his understanding is not right.
Not right. Yes, true, please.
Mental speculation.
Mental speculation. Yes, correct. So basically, if we considering the today's environment, okay, if we think in that way, then these are basically our source of the knowledge, okay, that we are getting. TV is there, Netflix is there, social media, WhatsApp University is there, right? And one very important aspect, I think I came across this, a few weeks back, that astrology. I don't know how this came to be considered as spiritual, and this is one example that I'm going to just explain in the upcoming slides to show that how this Vedic knowledge can be so easily concocted. Yes. So these are basically our, what to say, the source of truth or source of knowledge these days. What about Google? Anyone? Is it proper source of truth or no? Why?
Based on some data, and the data is based on some research, and research is based on some.
Yeah, but the information about Vedic scriptures is also there in Google. So what can you say about that? See, Google basically what it does is it searches the entire web, right? And it comes up. As you said, that there are some people who are basically material scientists who give their ideology also. The Vedic knowledge is also there. It gives a combined output. Okay, so it is basically up to us that how we filter out that knowledge, what we take from that. But yes, it is dangerous because it's a free source, right? I mean, anyone can go and anyone can update that. So in that way, it is a little dicey. Okay, so always trust the Vedic scriptures. Don't trust these aspects. Okay, so coming back to astrology, one example of astrology. Okay, so yes.
Voice, huh? No problem.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So astrology, this actually I came very recently, when I was just browsing some of the social media websites, and they have just kind of augmented that with AI, and lots of ads I was seeing actually. Okay, just put your date of birth in this app, and it will tell you whether you will get your ex back or not. Right? The person who rejected you will come back to you or not. Just put your date and birth. The amount of money that you lost will come back to you or not. You just put your date of birth, and it will just give it to you. So the problem is, first of all, tell me, what is an astrology? Anyone like who has an experience? Have you met any astrologers or yes, Prabhu?
Science of reading karma.
Reading karma. That's good. Very nice. Yes, Prabhu. Anyone else?
It is basically what they try to read your past and they try to predict your future based on whatever your family and all that stuff. They have some predefined, it's like a predefined text where they read. If two plus two is equal to 4, so it has to be 5, something like they just predict. nothing like something added on.
Hmm.
Some pre-existing facts, keep its analysis, and the future.
Okay. Yeah, I think both of you are right. So basically what Prabhu said, science of reading karma. It's a science of reading karma, and just as, say, for example, when we speak some language or write some language, okay, so we need a script to write that. For example, when we speak in Hindi, we use Devanagari script to do that. For English there is one script, for Kannada there is one script, okay. Similarly, the script for reading one's karma is this astrological chart or kundali, basically, right? So every human being, right, in this human body, any jivatma who has, incarnated, basically they come with a baggage of their karma, good or bad. Okay, if there is good karma, they will enjoy some life, a so-called, enjoyment will be there in their life. If they come with bad karma, then they will have to suffer here, right? And that is pre-decided. No one can change that. Okay, so this astrological chart or kundali is basically dealing with that, and it's a kind of a read-only thing. You cannot go ahead and modify that. Okay, so yes, of course it's a very deep science, and if anyone has a proper knowledge of how to read the kundali, they can accurately predict that, okay, how the karma of this individual was in the past and what they are going to face. Okay, but it's a very scientific thing, right? I mean, if we say that, okay, grah dasha kharab chal rahi hai, say Sani ki 7.5 hi chal rahi hai, right? See, Sani is not some random person who is just doing akkad bakkad Bombay bo, like that, ab isko 7.5 saal tak pareshan karo. No, not like that, right? He is ultimately a proper authority who has been set in there by none other than Krishna himself. Okay, so he is doing proper justice according to the karma of that individual. Okay, so but in no ways this astrology is connected to spirituality. Yes, so but we see that over a period of time, how people have kind of just what to say, combine these astrological readings with spirituality. Same thing goes for meditation, right? If you are meditating for just keeping your mind calm and just meditating for peace of mind, basically, that is not a spiritual practice. Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Bhumirapo anolo ayu khamano buddhi revacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha." Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, these are my separated material energies. So if you are doing meditation just to calm down your mind, you are still lingering on the material platform. There is nothing spiritual in that. Yes, if you try to meditate on the name, forms, qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna, then that kind of meditation can be considered as spiritual practice. Okay, so this is how it's so easy to concoct the things, right? Over a period of time, what happens? The actual knowledge, it actually gets lost. Okay, and is there any way to burn out our karmas? So astrological chart is showing that, okay, first of all tell me that when we go to some astrologers, what happens? They give us some remedies, right? कि ठीक है, शनि की 7.5 ही चल रही है, आप नीलम पहन लो तो बस आपका सब ठीक हो जाएगा, राइट? सूर्य सही नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं, आप रूबी पहन लो, चलेगा ऐसा. So do those things actually work? What happens in that case? Yeah.
वो बस प्रभु डिले हो जाता है. मे बी आप इस लाइफ में नहीं भोगना पड़ेगा आपको, लेकिन क्योंकि वो अल्टीमेटली कर्म का फल है.
Yes.
तो उसके लिए आपको दोबारा जन्म लेके वो भोगना पड़ेगा.
Prabhu ji has done all the research on this, right? Yes. So yeah, just imagine that I am coming with a karma baggage. Okay, like I have some good karma here, followed by 2 sections of bad karma, then 3 sections of good karma. What these astrological solutions do is ये bad karma उठा करके इसको इधर पीछे रख देंगे, right? कि ठीक है, अभी नहीं झेलना है, कोई बात नहीं, बाद में झेलना when you are ready, right? So they are not doing anything extra. You cannot change the karma of a person, but is there any way to change the karma of a person?
You perform bhakti towards the God, you surrender to Him. Your karmic intense may reduce. Instead of chopping the entire hand, bigger maker. So instead of performing bhakti, your karma may reduce.
Yes. Anything else? Mataji, you were saying something? Chanting, that's it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. कलयुग में बस यही चलेगा, कुछ नहीं चलेगा. You can try as many solutions as possible. Just try it out and see it for yourself. Yes. In the 18th chapter, Krishna has confirmed, Sarv Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami Ma Shucha. Okay. I will take care of all your karmic reactions. Do not fear. Okay. Do not have any doubt whether I can do it or not. Do not have any doubt whether I will do it or not. I will do it. Yes, this is the kind of guarantee which Krishna is giving us in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, so one very important. So what happens when we start chanting the holy names? Have you seen that sometimes there is a rope actually, and you suddenly put it in a very intense fire and burn it off completely? What will happen? The rope burns off completely, but it still maintains its shape. You can even see the coils on the rope. Have you seen that? Sometimes even with the books and pages also, you will able to see the handwriting also on the page, but it's completely ash basically. Yes. So same thing happens when we are practicing the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Your karma is burnt off. Your astrological chart may show the same, planetary positions, and some astrologer might see your chart and they may predict that okay, this year is going to be a little heavy on you or something like that. But for devotees, I think that karma is already burnt off. It's just like a remnant, okay, just like the ash which is there, okay. So this is the science behind astrology, but it is no way, what to say, a spiritual practice. Okay, this is how the concoction of knowledge actually happens. There was one very important, nice story which I would like to, share with all of you. In ISKCON itself, there was one Prabhuji who was a very renowned astrologer. Okay, he joined ISKCON. Obviously now, when such a renowned astrologer joins, तो आस-पास के लोगों को थोड़ा fascination होता ही है. That people were coming and Prabhuji, one guy came, please have a look at my kundali and tell me कैसा रहेगा, क्या रहेगा. Sure, Prabhu, I'll definitely tell you what is going to happen. First of all, tell me how many rounds you are chanting. 16 rounds, Prabhu. So for how many years? For last 3 years I have been chanting consistently 16 rounds. So Prabhuji said that ठीक है प्रभु, जिस दिन आप ये chanting छोड़ दीजिएगा उस दिन मेरे पास आइएगा, then I will predict your future. As long as you are chanting, you are outside my jurisdiction. I cannot do anything for that. So this is what chanting actually does. Yes. So take away from this particular discussion is that chanting is very, very important. So all of you, can you give a confirmation that from today onwards, number of rounds that you are chanting, apart from that, can you chant one extra round every day? Just one extra round. How many of you are going to do that? Very well. Thank you so much. Okay. Now another question. Are astrologers always correct? Why?
Not for devotees.
No, not just to forget about devotees. In general, like suppose as a common person I go to an astrologer, what is the likelihood that he will give me 100% accurate predictions or accurate information?
Past things he can accurately tell if he is expert in that. Past things what has happened, he can accurately tell.
Correct.
But future sometimes depends on us also.
Yeah. So you said that if he is expert in that. So that is the key word. It all depends upon how much effort that person has put in, understanding the science. Okay, and this science is also a Vedic science, by the way, right? And it's not very easy to comprehend. If you start looking at the rules, which are there, set out in the science of astrology, I think it's very complex, right? So they are also at the end of the day human beings. Okay, and we have seen that any material body, okay, is inflicted with 4 defects. What are those 4 defects? Can anyone tell me? Prabhuji, I am looking at you. Can you tell me what are the 4 defects that we have?
Tendency to make mistakes, get illusions.
It's written over there, you can read it. Here, in the slide. First of all, we have imperfect senses. Our senses are imperfect. Okay, say for example our eyes. Okay, we can see only a part of the spectrum of light. Okay, or even say for the distance also. Like according to physical science, our vision is actually, we can see maximum up to 25 meters clearly. After that, the vision becomes blurred. With age also, that 25 meters also changes, correct? The spectrum of light that we see, that is also defined, that between this frequency we will be able to see, we cannot see infrared, we cannot see ultraviolet, correct? So this is just one example, that our senses are imperfect. Same goes with our ears also. Only a certain frequency of sound we are able to perceive. Some animals can perceive higher frequencies, some can perceive lower frequencies also. Okay, but there is a limitation to our senses. Okay, so senses are imperfect. Second, because the senses are imperfect, we are always illusioned. Okay, very nice example which I came across when I was doing my Bhakti Shastri was Vamsi Vadan Prabhu was actually teaching us, and he was saying the same thing. Okay, and he said that the light coming out of the sun is basically blue in color because it is actually reflecting the Brahma Jyoti of Krishna. So Krishna has a bluish complexion, so okay, it's a blue in color. And I was like, क्या प्रभु जी अभी अभी मेरे को दिख रहा है ऑरेंज और येलो कलर का होता है सन. ठीक है, तो बोलने का भी एक मतलब ये लिमिट होता है, ऐसे कुछ नहीं बोल देना चाहिए. I was very new in Krishna consciousness at that time. Everything I used to question, okay, with the logical reasoning. And it's a fact. If you look at the sun, it appears yellow or orange, right? So how can you say it's blue in color, right? So I don't know. It was maybe Krishna's way of answering me or something. You know, I was just randomly browsing the internet where I came across one article from NASA itself. Okay, that the stars are actually bluish in color. Okay, the actual color of the stars are bluish. The bigger the star, the more blue it becomes actually. Okay, so sun has the real color of sun is basically something like bluish white. If you go to the bigger stars, it will become more and more blue. Okay, the reason why I see it as orange or yellow is because of the scattering of the sunlight. Okay, due to the atmosphere which we have, right? So this is how accurate the Vedic scriptures are. So it will answer you. It will answer all the questions, right? So in this way, we are always illusioned. Okay, we are living in an illusion that sun is yellow in color or orange in color or something like that. Okay, so senses are imperfect, senses are illusion. Because of these two things, we have tendency to make mistakes. Okay, even simple thing. If I ask someone to come stand here and count from 1 to 2000, it's very difficult that in one go they will do it without committing mistake. Right? So tendency to commit mistake. Because we have all these three things, imperfection of senses, always illusion, and tendency to commit mistakes, we also have cheating propensities. Okay, I always give this example that when I was in high school, I always used to cheat in my practical examinations, especially physics practicals. Right? कभी बता दिया क्या है, एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी इज 9.8 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. कोशिश कर रहे हैं, आ ही नहीं रहा है. व्हाट टू डू. तो थोड़ा सा रीडिंग इधर बढ़ाया, थोड़ा इधर कम किया, एंड देन सो दिस इज चीटिंग प्रोपेंसिटीज, राइट? सो इट हैज टू हैपन. ओके, बट वैदिक नॉलेज इज absolute. It comes from the absolute source, so there is no question of making any mistakes over there. Okay, and what happens when the source of knowledge is not bona fide? Okay, so as you see in this picture, basically what happens, the dharma itself actually breaks down completely. Okay, if the source of knowledge is not bona fide. Okay, we start living whimsically. Point number one. Okay, we do not understand the rules and regulations which have been laid down by the scriptures. We start questioning creation of God. We start questioning God himself actually. Okay, we try to concoct the information which is given in the Vedic scriptures so that they become conducive to our own sense gratification. Okay, and that's exactly what happened when Lord Buddha was there. When Lord Buddha appeared, at that time the situation of the society was like that only. Okay, we'll see that in a few moments. Okay, we start leading impure life, and no one follows their prescribed duties. And as you see here in this picture also, entire population will be deprived of all the opulences. People generally become poor, but they all have smartphones in their hand, if you can look at the picture, right? So the priority just reverses upside down. So, and what happens with such people when they actually reproduce, when they populate, the progeny is also unwanted. That's what Bhagavad Gita also says. Yes, when there is loss of dharma, it gives rise to Varna Sankara, right? Varna Sankara is the unwanted progeny, correct? So why did Lord Buddha incarnate? Okay, why did Lord Buddha appear? That is something which we would like to discuss now. So a little bit of flashback, like how Kali Yuga appeared, and then we will go to Lord Buddha first. Okay, so what happens that everything has a presiding deity or a personification of certain thing. Okay, when Lord Brahma created the 4 yugas were actually his sons. Okay, so when Satyuga came, he just told him that, okay, I know you are a very nice person, nice personality. Okay, but just try to take care of the people, but also keep one thing in mind, that I have also created hell. Okay, hellish planetary systems are also there, the provision is also there, so please ensure that that is also utilized. Satyuga clearly declined. He said, no father, I am not going to take this order from you. In my age, everyone will go back home, back to Godhead without any difficulties. They will simply lead a very pious life, and they will ultimately break the cycle of birth and death. Lord Brahma said, okay, as you wish. Satyuga went away. When Treta Yuga came, Brahma said the same thing to him, that okay, we have a provision for Nark also, so please ensure that it is utilized to a certain extent. Treta Yuga also said no, it's difficult for me, I cannot do that. Okay, so I will just follow my elder brother, and he went beyond that. When Dwapar Yuga came, Lord Brahma said the same thing, that okay, Nark ka pravdhan bhi hai, thoda dekh lena. So he said, okay, I'll see what I can do. Okay, so some part of dharma started losing. We started losing when Dwapar Yuga was around, and we have seen that. How Mahabharat war happened and everything. When Kali Yuga came, Brahma said the same thing to him, that we have Nark also. Please ensure that people, it is properly utilized. He said, you don't worry, father. Most of the people by default will go there. Very few people will be able to break the cycle of life and death and go back home, back to Krishna. Okay. So this is how these 4 yugas actually they came into existence. And when Kali Yuga was entering, Dwapar Yuga was at its end. It was almost the end of the reign of Maharaj Parikshit at that time, right? So at that time, Maharaj Parikshit saw that this Kali personified Kali Yuga was actually so Mother Earth had taken a form of a cow and Dharma had taken the form of a bull. And this Kali was very mercilessly beating those 2 animals. Okay, and so much so that the bull was actually standing on only 1 leg. Okay, we know that Dharma has 4 legs. Anyone can tell 4 pillars of Dharma? What are they?
Faithfulness, cleanliness, compassion,
Austerity. Yeah. So out of that, 3 legs he had already broken, Kali Yuga. Okay. So when Maharaj Parikshit saw this, he was furious actually. Okay. Immediately stopped his chariot, pulled out his sword, and he was about to kill Kali, right at then and there. But Kali, what he did, he was a very smart personality, very street smartness was there in him. Immediately fell on the feet of Maharaj Parikshit and said that please forgive me, but just give me a place. He said, no, I cannot give you any place to stay. You just simply leave this place and just get lost from this place. So again, he made use of his smartness and said, where shall I go then? This entire world is your kingdom. Okay, so there is no place for me to go. But being a person, I need a place to stay. So at least show some compassion on me and give me at least some place to stay. So Maharaj Parikshit thought through it and said, हाँ ठीक है, बात तो सही कह रहा है, कहीं रहने के लिए तो देना पड़ेगा इसे. So let's give you 4 places. So he told him that okay, you can stay at 4 places. What were the 4 places? Anyone?
Where there is gambling, where there is
Meat eating?
intoxication.
Yes, slaughterhouses, intoxication, bars, where the drinks are served, okay, where casinos, where gambling takes place, and where illicit sexual activities are happening. So these 4 places were given for the Kali Yuga to stay, okay. And after that, what happened? Dwapar Yuga came to an end. After some time, Maharaj Parikshit also left this world. And the 4 places which Maharaj Parikshit had given to Kali, for staying, they became the mainstay of the people of Kali Yuga. Right? If you see today, it has become very common these days. Just try to go from this main road, Kannamangala main road to Kadugodi flyover. Count how many number of liquor shops you come across. I think 6 or 7 are there. Right? So, yeah. Do I need to say anything else? Right? How many meat shops are there? Some meat shops are also there. Right? So this has become the mainstay of people today. Okay? And the people started becoming atheists at that time. They started questioning the existence of God. Some people, कि भगवान है तो दिखाई क्यों नहीं देते हैं? Very common question these days also, right? Some people started questioning that if this world is so miserable, and if you say that God loves us so much, then why did He create this world in the first place? Okay, why did He send us there? Why does He send, if we all are His children, then why is hell there? Why does He punish His own children in such a bad way? Okay, these kind of illogical and irrational questions started propping up. Okay, so the answer is that we asked for it. Okay, Krishna had no intentions to send us here in this material world. Right, we came here like a stubborn child asking for so-called happiness, to experience something so-called enjoyment over here, right? Now, if a person is determined to go to a prison house, what can government do in that case? Does government want to create a prison houses? Government will be very happy if today Bangalore becomes a zero crime city. The most happiest person will be the government and government officials, the authorities themselves, right? They don't want people to send to prison. But if the people themselves are, eager to go to the prisons, they themselves are eager to commit crimes, then what can one do? We have to have such a kind of a provision, right? So we are only responsible for what is happening today, okay? And concoction of the Vedic scriptures, Vedic principles. What happened during the time of Lord Buddha, when Lord Buddha came in, actually? Okay, so around that time, people were majorly atheistic, as I said, okay? And they preferred animal flesh over vegetarian food. That became very much prevalent at that time, okay? So, just by reading the Vedic scriptures and concocting them in certain ways, they, encouraged what is known as the Bali Pratha, okay? छोटी छोटी बातों में चलो बलि दे दो, like that, okay? Do some animal sacrifices for even small things, okay? And the ultimate goal was not to, kind of do any spiritual practice or for the satisfaction of the deities or anything. It's just that, okay, abhi ye bakra kata hai, now I will eat, okay? That was the intention of people at that time, okay? So it was very prevalent animal killing at that time, and Krishna took pity on those poor animals, and therefore that was one of the main reasons why he actually incarnated. And people were also very much violent. See, when you eat tamasic stuff, obviously violence, anger, these things automatically manifest within you, okay? If you eat sattvic food, that will reflect in your behavior, okay, that way. So lot of war, battles, they were happening at that time, okay? Animal killing was very prevalent. So basically a very, kind of a violent environment was there, prevalent at that time of, okay, when Lord Buddha appeared, okay? So he just took pity on these animals, and then he came and he gave a process in general, okay, that how to save, these people from the grievous act that they are doing, okay? Because it's very difficult. The kind of punishment a person has to go through, when they consume meat or help in killing of any animals, is just beyond description. The 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which actually describes very much in detail the 28 kinds of hellish planetary systems which are there, and what kind of punishment each sinful activity has in store. So if you get some time, please go through that. I mean, it's really gruesome actually, okay? So Krishna doesn't want all of us to go through that. So in order to save them, he just came as Lord Buddha at that time, okay? And the question is that why does this cycle always happen? Okay, Satyuga starts as a golden age where the dharma is in the full glory, okay? Slowly what happens in Treta Yuga, a tinge of, say adharma creeps in. In Dwapar Yuga, significant amount of, there is dharma, adharma together. And in Kali Yuga, mostly it's adharma, okay? And this has been going on since time immemorial. It's not just that this time scale or this timeline we are talking about, right? This is happening everywhere in all the planetary systems, okay? So why this is happening, okay? And the problem is within us actually, okay? It is happening because of two things. One is the hatred, and second is the desire, which is within the living entity, okay? I am not saying this, Krishna is saying this in the Bhagavad Gita. Please repeat after me. Iksha dvesha samuttena Dvanda mohena bharata Sarvabhutani sammoham Sarge yanti parantapa. So in this particular verse, Krishna is talking about the dualities which are present in this material world. We are always living in dualities, okay? What is the translation? O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arisen from desire and hate. Okay, so this desire and hate are two biggest enemies, and because of this we are always illusioned in this material world. Okay, and when one is separated from Sri Krishna, when they become deluded, okay, they are controlled by the illusory energy, okay, of Krishna, and this illusory energy is manifested as desire and hatred. Okay, desire to say earn more and more money, become more and more rich, become more and more powerful. to a certain extent that even if everything is there at your disposal, okay, you can become the most powerful person on this planet, okay, still this desire doesn't go away. Very recent example we have seen in the form of Epstein files. Yes, all the people who were named in that. Just tell me who was poor in that particular list. Some were very renowned politicians, some were renowned businessmen, business tycoons. What kind of scarcity do they have in their life? They have achieved almost everything. Money is there, name is there, fame is there, following is there. People adored them like anything, right? But still, just see what kind of heinous act they kept on committing. Why does that happen? That now, okay, today now I have everything, I want something more, right? That desire is there. You start hating your fellow people, just because you are at a certain position, okay? So this duality and hatred is basically the main cause of our material existence, okay? So it's very, very important to understand that, okay? And this is exactly what happened when Kali Yuga started, okay? The desire to enjoy very nicely, okay? The desire to become very powerful and gratify the senses, people would go to any extent, even to an extent of disregarding the scriptures which are there, okay? That started happening, okay? And some even became atheists and started questioning the position of God or the existence of God himself, okay? So when such thing happens, what is Krishna's way of handling the situation, or what is the strategy of the representatives of Krishna to handle such a situation, okay? So one thing is that Srila Prabhupada always used to say time, place and circumstances. These are three very, very important things. For example, if I am talking to an atheist, I cannot go to him or her and just start speaking the verses of the Bhagavad Gita. It will simply not get inside that head, okay? Once you leave from there, they will start making fun of you. that happens actually, yes. So we have to understand that, okay, if the spiritual maturity of a person is not at a certain level or it's very less, then I have to give that spiritual knowledge only in that amount which they can digest them, right? They cannot, I cannot go ahead and just read entire Bhagavatam in front of them. Nothing will go inside their head, right? So exactly this is what Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Okay, degree to which a person surrenders to me, to that degree I reciprocate with that person. Okay, if a person is a casual devotee like me, weekend devotee like me, then Krishna will reciprocate in a very casual way. कि ठीक है थोड़ा बहुत कर रहा है करने दो, he's happy, right? But if a person is a Mahabhagavat like Prahlad Maharaj, okay, then that person will be able to see Sri Krishna everywhere. Correct? Right? So this is the kind of reciprocation Krishna gives. Okay? And in the Bhagavad Gita also is clearly mentioned that those people who are atheistic in nature, those people who do not surrender unto me, those people who do not believe in me, do not disturb them. Okay? But devotees of Sri Krishna, they take a great risk, okay, of approaching even those people also, especially during the book distribution time. Right? We had a very nice experience, Prabhu, right? Okay. So this is the way of dealing with Krishna. So when he appeared as Lord Buddha, okay, so he also followed the same principle. Okay, people have become atheists, let them be atheists. Okay, so they don't want to believe in scriptures, okay, fine, don't believe in it. I will take that scripture out of the equation. Okay, there is nothing, Vedic scriptures are just, a piece of trash. You just don't believe in that. Okay, but what he did, very important thing was that he instilled the adverse effects of meat eating actually in the people of that time. Okay, because basically see what Buddha saw there, that these people are not even ready to surrender. Okay, forget about surrender, they are questioning the existence of God. What can be done in that case? Okay, so he just took the Vedic scriptures out of the equation. Okay, and he just said that, okay, fine, I will preach just non-violence. Just tell them that what are the adverse effects of meat eating or animal killing. Okay, so once that happened, what happened in that scenario is that people, okay, they were not believing in the scriptures at that time, but for the time being, they stopped killing the animals. For the time being, they became actually kind of non-violent. They became the followers of Buddha. They became believers of Buddha. So from being a non-believer, from being a non-believer to, you know, like believing in something. Okay, that is some progress, right? So keeping that in mind, Lord Buddha preached the Shunyavadi philosophy or voidism. Okay, that there is no soul, there is no God, there is just this particular life. Okay, so this is the Shunyavad. Basically, what Lord Buddha said, there is no Vedic scriptures, but one has to attain nirvana. Okay, and what is that nirvana? This our entire body is composed of a combination of matter. Okay, this diagram actually shows you how our body is composed, basically, right? And Lord Buddha, at a very young age, he saw that people are very distressed here. Okay, he was once, all of us know that story, right? That he was going on a, what to say, on a chariot just to take a stroll in the streets of his own kingdom, and he saw that most of the people were, very, very like troubled or very much distressed. They were suffering a lot. Actually, one people was sick, so he asked his charioteer why this people is sick, or why this person is sick. One person, he saw a few people carrying a dead body of a person, so why do we die? These kind of questions he actually asked. And then he ultimately came to a conclusion that this world is full of suffering, and only way to break this suffering, and the only reason for this suffering is our body, material body. Okay, and this material body is nothing but a combination of matter. So if we somehow break this combination, then our body will also disintegrate, and then there will be no pain. Okay, and that state is known as nirvana in Buddhism. Okay, so how to do that now? Okay, how to break this? So how to break this combination of matter? Basically, that is done through a lot of penance and lot of austerities. Okay, so this was the teaching of Lord Buddha. Okay, and why did he teach? Give such kind of a teaching? Again, time, place, and circumstances. People at that time did not have that intellect, like Arjun, so that he can discuss spirit, soul, transmigration of soul, and big things like that. Okay, people were at a very, very gross platform. Rather, they were actually concocting the Vedic scriptures to promote animal killing. Bali Pratha. See, what is this Bali Pratha actually? Can anyone tell me what is this Bali Pratha? How did this came into existence?
We have to offer the say, animal in front of God, because that time people were known, the rule was formed that people don't have control on their senses, basically to satisfy their senses. So at least they should go with animal in front of, let's say, Kali or something, okay, and they should beg, okay, we are not able to control our senses, so please accept it. We are going to kill and eat.
So this is again the concoction. Okay, so this, this is again what you said, Prabhu, is a concoction, because ultimately you said that it is for our own sense gratification. You kill and then you eat, right? But the actual Bali Pratha, which used to take place in Satyuga or especially in Treta Yuga, when fire sacrifices were very prevalent. Okay, at that time the Brahmanas were so qualified that they didn't need any fire to light up the fire source to light up the fire of the sacrificial fire. Basically, just by chanting the Vedic mantras, they were able to do that. Okay, that was the qualification of the Brahmana. Okay, and at that time, what happened? People used to bring one, say, old animal. Generally, it was a horse. Okay, which was old. Okay, and in the sacrificial arena, the horse was actually sacrificed. Okay, for the pleasure of the deities whom they were worshipping, and immediately by the potency of the Brahmanas of those times, that particular animal was given a human form of life. Okay, or if not a human form of life, then at least a young body, right? So this is what actual Bali Pratha used to be. And, yes, and just see, because of the degradation and concoction, what has it become today? Okay, just because to eat, we just give that. Okay, so again, time, place, and circumstances. Based on that, we have to understand that okay, what is going to be the situation. Okay, and people were less intelligent; they were atheists. Okay, so you cannot reason with such people. Okay, so he preached the principles of non-violence. Okay, preliminary principles of Vedas. Okay, he started giving them. That for the time being at least, okay, those atheists will, grab some concepts of the Vedic scriptures, and at least they will be saved from the grievous sin which they were committing at that point of time. Okay, and at least with his teachings, the faithless people started developing some faith in Lord Buddha himself. Okay, faithless होने से अच्छा तो है कि कुछ किसी चीज में तो है, भले ठीक है, if the philosophy is little wrong, that's okay. Okay, but at least he was able to save them from the sinful reactions. Okay. So, and Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita describes very nicely, such people, less intelligent people. Okay, he gives a term called vipaschita to such people. Please repeat after me. Ya imam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitah vedavadarta partha nanyadastiti vadinah. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets. Okay, so men of small knowledge will not think of breaking the cycle of birth and death, going back home, back to Krishna. That itself is very, out of question. They cannot comprehend such things. I will just do certain activities, certain fruitive activities, which will take me to Swargaloka. I will be happy there. Okay, heavenly planets resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Okay? Even today, you talk to some people. I know some people that who are very happy in this, material existence. When you talk about breaking breaking the cycle of birth and death, they will say, no, life is good. I want to come over and over again and lead this kind of a life. Okay. Completely ignorant of the fact that their karma is being recorded very meticulously. Okay, today, you might be having a good opulence, you might be having a good family, you might be having all the comforts of life, but there is no guarantee that in the upcoming lifetime you will be enjoying the same kind of opulence. Right? These things they cannot comprehend. Right? Another example is Jesus Christ. Okay, when he also came here, that time also this the intellectual level of people at that time was very low. People were just fighting. Okay, only mainstay of the society at that time was war and battles. Okay, therefore when he came, then according to time, place and circumstances, he gave the 10 commandments which are there in Bible. And what the what focus of those 10 commandments are? You shall respect your parents, you shall not commit adultery, you shall love your neighbors, you shall not kill. These are the basic fundamental principles which he is giving. He is not talking about spirit, soul and transmigration of soul from one life to nothing. The basic to pehle kar lo, level 1 clear kar lo, then we will go to the higher levels, right? So this is what Jesus Christ also preached actually. Another example is Srila Prabhupada himself. He himself sometimes bent the rule to preach, in order to preach, right? See, in India, or basically the rule is that when a person takes sannyas, okay, they are not allowed to go out of the country. You cannot cross the shores, basically, right? But Prabhupada did that in order to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master, right? He went to the west, he preached the message of Lord Chaitanya over there. Sannyasis are not allowed to participate in any marriage ceremony. Prabhupada not only participated in marriage ceremony, but he also helped in marrying the couples, which are the disciple couples which were there, right? So these are the rules. He at that time when he took sannyas and when he was a part of this thing Gaudiya Math, right? So the brahmacharis and sannyasis, they used to chant 64 rounds a day. Okay, when he went to the United States, he saw the degraded state of people over there. He said, "Yaar, ye 8-10 mala bhi kar le, bahut hai." Right? So he came up that okay, you do chant at least 16 rounds. I will take care of the rest. Right? So according to time, place, and circumstances, the rules are actually bent. Okay, and people like Srila Prabhupada and Lord Buddha, they came and they taught this. Even when he was in Russia, I think in Russia at that time it was complete iron curtain. Okay, even today some countries are there where you don't know what is going on inside that country. Those countries are basically ruled by certain dictators. But Russia was also very strong communist country at that time, and people were not allowed to some public news never used to come out of Russia at that time. There was just one devotee. Prabhupada made just one devotee over there. And just see today, just by the mercy of Sri Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, I think it has almost same number of devotees, if not less, as we have in India today, right? So this is what Krishna consciousness has done. But it was very difficult, a challenge there in Russia, right? To basically make people, even to carry out small, Sunday feast is very common for us, right? The nice center over here, you come here and you have prasadam like that. But in Russia at that time, even if you spoke about God, you could have landed up in a prison. Okay, and you never know for how long. That was the state. Uh, People today come here, after every Sunday feast we have nice announcements. Okay, that today's Sunday feast is sponsored by so Prabhu, this Prabhuji and this Mataji, like that. That people are giving donations out of their. There was no concept of having donations in Russia at that time. Okay, it was a communist country. Everything belonged to the state. If you have to have simple grocery also, there were some government-owned grocery stores which provided rations. You had to line up in a queue outside those stores. Only for a fixed duration they used to distribute that. So Prabhupada told his disciples that, okay, if this is the condition here, then according to time, place and circumstances, we will change our rules. You stand in the queue, just like any ordinary people. Okay? Ideally, it's a very, kind of a dangerous thing for a brahmachari or a sannyasi to just go and have conversations with material-minded people. Okay? It can adverse your sadhana adversely. Okay? It can affect your sadhana adversely. It can, lower your consciousness, spiritual consciousness, if you interact too much with material-minded people. But just for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada bent that rule. His disciples followed that. They used to stand in the queue for the ration and everything, and then this is how Krishna consciousness propagated, right? So according to time, place, and circumstances, the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna actually changes. The teachings of the representatives of Lord Sri Krishna, it changes, just for the betterment of the society. Okay. So now, when Buddha had come here, Lord Buddha came here, what happened? That he took Vedas out of the equation. Okay, he said that, okay, you want to be atheist, you continue to be atheist. I will give you a philosophy which will actually support this kind of atheism, right? Wordism, that there is no God, no soul, nothing, just nirvana is there, right? But then, if we want to flourish as a society, then Vedas are an integral part of it. Okay, right? Because that is the knowledge which is coming from the absolute source. Okay, we cannot ignore the existence of Vedas. Okay, so now Lord Buddha had taken it out slowly when kind of a steady state was reached. That okay, ठीक है, violence थोड़ा कम हो गया है, people have become non-violent. They are now at a level to go one step higher. Okay, level 1 cross कर गए हैं, अब level 2 शुरू करना है. So now the thing was, I have to somehow reinstill these Vedas back into the society. How to do that? So that was done by his successors of Lord Buddha. First one of them was Adi Shankaracharya, right? He's a very renowned scholar, and he was a incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. Okay. Now still, understand this. Okay. When Adi Shankaracharya came, he actually gave this Mayavad philosophy. Why? Again, because the level of intellect, the intellectual level of the people at that time was that just Lord Buddha had left. Okay, they had been trained in the basic knowledge of the Vedas. Okay, that okay, no animal killing, no fighting, these kind of basic. So वहाँ से it was very difficult to give the Srimad Bhagavatam or big kind of scriptures to them. Okay, so just next level was that okay, Adi Shankaracharya came. He gave the Mayavad philosophy that okay, God is there is something called as God, but it is formless. Okay. And that kind of thing exists in everyone. We are all energies of him. So I am God, you are God, everyone is God. That kind of philosophy Adi Shankaracharya gave. He is still very much revered Acharya, okay, very much respected. And he also gave us this Jagannath Ashtakam. Okay, very nice verses he has written. Okay, so Adi Shankaracharya was one, and after that Mayavad philosophy was accepted throughout, and people came up to that level, है ना कि level 2 भी पूरा हो गया. Then the Vaishnavacharyas came. Okay, people like Ramanujacharya or Madhvacharya, they came, and then they reinstilled all the Vedic scriptures, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, and after that none other than Lord Chaitanya himself, he advented and gave us all the knowledge. Correct? So this is how Krishna deals, when there is a degradation in the society. And this is how it is so easy to concoct the Vedic philosophies and the Vedic scriptures. Okay? Are we on time? Yes, I think we are on time. So conclusion, what we can draw from this, that first, always look for a bona fide guru. Okay? What are the qualities of a bona fide guru? How can I identify that, okay, this person, I should be taking initiation from this person, or I should be accepting this person as my guru?
If you have conquered 6 urges,
Very nice. Jivha Begum. Mataji, you? You can repeat, Mataji, no problem. Disciplic succession, yes. Yes. Convince people about the science of Krishna. So both of you are correct, yes. So yes, as Prabhuji mentioned that in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami has given a very nice verse that there are 5 qualities which one should look in a guru. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam. Okay? Vacho Vegam means the urge to speak. We all have urge to gossip, right? Looking for masala in life. So anyone who has a control over his tongue, okay, you can just focus that attention on that person. Okay? Manasa, okay, he has a control on the mind. Okay, how, just think of us that how long can we focus on one thing? What is our attention span? Okay, in Kali Yuga it's what, 5 minutes, I don't know, even lesser, right? With reels and Instagram shorts and all those things, right? So if the person has controlled the mind, if the person has control over the tongue, Manasa, Krodha Vegam, if the person has control on anger, right? Manasa, Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, if the person has control on the tongue, okay, they don't go for very, what to say, palatable foodstuffs, every now and then, correct? They are satisfied with even a simple sattvic food, okay? And the urge of genitals, udaropastha vegam, okay? The sex desire, if it is controlled within an individual, that person is entitled to make disciples all around the world, okay? This is the criteria. These 5 qualities, if you find in a person, you can easily surrender to that person. And as Mataji also suggested that apart from these qualities, they should be learned in the Vedic scriptures, they should know about the science of Krishna, and they should be able to convince others, with that knowledge. Yes, Prabhu.
They should come from a parampara.
Yeah, yes, they should be come from a bona fide disciplic succession. So that's what Sri Krishna is also saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Please repeat after me. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानम् ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. So you are entitled to ask questions, but in a submissive way, not in a questioning way. Okay? So inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge to you because they have seen the truth. Okay, so very, very important to take a bona fide guru. Okay, always look for a bona fide guru. Without a guru, it's very difficult to comprehend the knowledge which is enclosed in the Vedic scriptures. Okay, disciplic succession, as Prabhuji mentioned, it's vital. Okay, I mean, any random person cannot just claim that, okay, I am a guru, I am an acharya, you start following me. We have people like that. Okay, there is forget about being a guru. People claim themselves to be incarnations of God these days. Okay, so this has to be completely, based on the disciplic succession from that person, from where that person is coming. Okay, ask that person who is your spiritual master. Then ask who is the spiritual master of your spiritual master. In that way, if you are able to trace it back to Lord Sri Krishna, then that is a bona fide parampara. Otherwise, okay. So. And why do we need, okay, why it is very difficult to make spiritual progress by our own efforts? Because human body is inflicted by 4 defects. Yes, we saw some time back, right? What are those 4 defects? Once again, imperfect senses. 2, always illusion. 3rd, cheating propensities. And 4th, tendency to make mistakes. Yes, very nice. So because of that, we cannot comprehend the Vedic scriptures all by ourselves. We have to take the help of a guru. Okay, and in that way, what will happen? The instructions will also be preserved. It will not be concocted over a period of time. Okay, so I'd like to take a pause here. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
What was Prabhupada's statement in terms of astrology? That is kind of ethics science, but not connected to his specialty. But any specific comments from Prabhupada?
Prabhupada was very clear. As long as you are chanting, you are outside the jurisdiction of Maya. So no question of astrology. Give it up. It's very clear. Prabhupada was cut to cut, right? So yes, it is a science. He also, accepted that. But then he was also very clear that once you start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the karma is burnt off by. I remember he was giving one lecture. I was watching that in Melbourne actually, and one of the disciples, he asked him that Prabhupada, if you surrender to Sri Krishna, like I have been a very sinful person, so how long will it take for me to for Krishna to show mercy on me? So he scolded him. Less than a minute. You don't read the Bhagavad Gita? What does he say? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Right? So that's what. Okay, so just remember that verse. As long as you are surrendered to Krishna, as long as you are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are outside the jurisdiction of Maya. Okay? But the moment you leave it, then all these things come into picture.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for very enlightening class, nectarian class. Prabhuji, when you told about the Buddha, he gave the Nirvana philosophy. So, still we confuse. Is it possible in a short, again, you just give what is the Nirvana philosophy?
Yeah, very. See, the thing is that, as I said, that Lord Buddha was actually, he came and he said that he saw that the people were struggling here at that time. Okay, lot of violence and the Bali Pratha was in place. People were killing the helpless animals. So he took pity on them, both on the animals as well as people who were committing that, because they had to suffer because of that, right? So he just said that, okay, people were generally atheists, they had no belief in the scriptures, rather they were concocting the scriptures. So he just said that, okay, you don't want to believe in God, don't believe in God. Okay. First thing. The second thing, if you don't want to believe in the scriptures, don't follow any scriptures. Okay? I will tell you, there is no God, there is no soul. That is the basic teaching of Buddhism. Okay? So no, there is no God, there is no soul, this is just one life. But the goal of this life is to attain nirvana. Okay? So nirvana, what happens, that this body is composed of different combination of matter. Okay? We have seen that carbon, hydrogen and all those things, right? I showed you. I'll just bring it back. Right? So this is the composition. Now what happens that when the body is made of this composition, so we have this human form then, and because of this composition we have the human form, and because of the human form we are experiencing pain and pleasure. Okay, mostly it is painful only, right, in this material world. So his philosophy was that if I'm able to break this combination, then this body will also be not there, and when the body is not there, there will be no question of pain and pleasure. It will sound little illogical sometimes, but then it's there, right? It's very much same to, if I don't know how many of you are actually have read theoretical physics, but it is something related to what happens when you fall in a black hole. Okay, scientists term it as singularity. That all the parts of your body, every single atom will be disintegrated because of the gravity which is there, right? Something similar he is talking about. That you have to just break that combination. When body will not be there, sufferings will also not be there. And when you achieve that state, that is nirvana. How to do that? By severe austerities and penances. Okay, that you sit in the cold weather wearing nothing, like that, or do some very tough penances like that. Okay, don't eat for days together, like that. So this is what basically
nirvana can be achieved through the meditation and non-violence. Right? These are the two main.
Two main things: meditation and non-violence. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just an observation. So based on this discussion, like Lord Buddha taught non-violence, but currently we see the flagbearer of Buddhism, they themselves are eating non-veg. So they are not following actually the Buddhism, right?
See, again, it comes back again to the concoction of the knowledge, right? Over a period of time that happens, and I just described in a few slides earlier. Why does that happen? Because of the dualities, desire and hate. Okay, we want to enjoy that, and anything that we are following. See, this is as spirit souls. See, basically why this is happening. As spirit souls, we are a part and parcels of Krishna. Now, Krishna is a supremely independent personality. So we also have that tendency to be independent, right? So when we are just bound by these rules and regulations of the scriptures, we try to get free from that, completely ignorant of the fact that these rules and regulations are not actually binding us, they are helping us to attain independence. Okay, once we get rid of this material world, then we will experience the actual independence. But yeah, that is the nature of human being, that okay, when you put some rules and regulations, we'll concoct that and then again we'll start the same thing.
Prabhuji, can you please give some clarification on Lord Buddha and Gautam Buddha?
Same, very same. Yeah.
Then one more Buddha was there, no?
So I think Gautam Buddha and Lord Buddha are the same. I am not aware of how many
Someone
Buddhas
was
are
named
there.
as Siddhartha and
Siddhartha was, before initiation, his name was Siddhartha. He was a prince born in a, like royal family. So one day that Prince Siddhartha, what he did, he said that, okay, I just want to, his father was very protective of him, okay, that he wanted him to be always happy. So he always used to keep him in a very happy and positive environment, okay. The people were there to serve him, beautiful gardens were there in his palace. He always used to, so one day he said that, okay, I want to go and see my city. So he just went with one of his charioteers, and then when he went to the city, he saw that, okay, there is so much of suffering in this place. He saw a sick person, he saw a person who was dead, and people were crying and all those things. Then the reality actually struck him, that okay, what is happening here? Like, I am living a life which is very different from what I am actually seeing here. So after seeing that, he actually gave up his family life. He immediately renounced and he just went to the forest for meditation. And once he, gained enlightenment after doing the meditation, he became Buddha. So they are the same personalities, bro. Right. Yes, bro.
Does one can follow still Buddha's way, or one should be disciple?
Here we will always recommend that you follow Krishna's philosophy. Because, see, again, as I said, that it's a very rudimentary level of knowledge which Lord Buddha was giving. Okay? So when you have the Bhagavad Gita, when you have the capability to understand, okay, when you have taken birth in a country where, Bhagavad Gita is the mainstay of each and every household, then why do you want to give up that kind of a knowledge and go back to the rudimentary level, right? If you have to climb a multi-story building, 25th floor pe jana hai, will you take the stairs or will you take the elevator? What is the smart thing to do? Elevator, right? So take the elevator. Mataji wants to say something, Prabhu. Just there is one. I think some announcement is there. Okay, okay. Sure. After that, you can add one thing.
My question is, why did Jesus Christ say that people cannot worship Hindu gods?
People cannot worship
Hindu gods.
He never mentioned specifically Hindu gods. See, he was
against
idol worship, correct. He said idol worship is against. So basically, again, according to the time, place and circumstances. See, idol worship is also not a joke. It was basically being done in the Dwapar Yuga, right? There is a proper way of doing it. The kind of idol worship that we do at our homes, right? It will not reap you any benefits, basically, right? So even today, like if you see the Tirupati temple, okay, that is the epitome of how idol worship is done. The kids are basically trained from the age of 6. For 12 years, they go through a rigorous training to do proper idol worship, and only when one is an expert in doing that, and then that idol worship actually reaps the benefit. So when people were killing each other, when people were very violent against each other, in that scenario, how can you expect that people will do idol worship properly in that kind of an environment, right? So just like Gautam Buddha took Vedas out of the equation, Jesus Christ said that okay, no idol worship for now, you just focus on the basics first, okay? You love your parents, you do not cheat, you do not, basic philosophies of life he was taught in the commandments. वहाँ तक पहले level 1 तो पार करो, then you will go there, right? So
people have taken it in the other way.
People have taken it in another way. When he said that thou shall not kill, okay, that means that you should not be killing anyone, but they just kill the animals, saying that okay, only human beings have soul, but animals don't have soul. This is how they have concocted it, right? So it's going to be there. Concoction is going to be there.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice class, but sorry, I was busy with
Yeah.
some services. I couldn't pay attention. I don't know this point was covered or not, like, because when he asked whether we should follow Buddha's philosophy, so like, as per Srila Prabhupada teachings, like, being Lord Buddha, being incarnation of Krishna, though because he has spoken, he rejected Vedas, so we don't follow his philosophies because we cannot reject Vedas. So Vedas, so that is what I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
So you can elaborate.
Yeah. So I have actually said that in the next slide. So you see that once Buddha left, the successors came in. Why? Because any human society, I would repeat again, okay, that we cannot think of progressing spiritually without the Vedic scriptures. So all these successors, okay, who came, Shankaracharya, then the Vaishnavacharyas who came, okay, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they reinstilled the Vedas. So when you have that knowledge, go with that, okay, don't go with the rudimentary things. Yeah. Okay, so I think, yes, Prabhu, one last question. Yeah.